So I'm here in my veggie patch in northern New South Wales, Australia, and we're well into our dry season. And I'm actually about to rip all of this out. I'll go into detail and explain why, but basically we are reliant on, if you can see behind me, tank water for our veggie patch. And what's happened is we're going into a very dry season, and unfortunately the quality of the soil, even though I do add compost every time I plant out new vegetables, it's actually gone very, very sandy. So what happens is I'm using our precious rainwater to water nearly every day, and the soil is not retaining that moisture. And so unfortunately, with no rain forecast in the near future and just going into that really hot, dry time of the year, I've decided to rip all of these raised beds out and start again. So I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I do it, why I'm doing it, and I'm actually going to bring up our chickens and use them to eat all of the seed heads, fertilize and turn all of the soil, and turn it into basically a chicken tractor composting system, which was inspired by Jeff Lawton's chicken tractor on steroids. So here's a great example. All of our brassicas have now gone to seed, and each flower is full of so many beautiful bees, natural predatory insects. And so I don't want to just rip all of this out. I'm happy to have the chickens come through and eat all of these seed heads and turn the soil. So I wanted to give you a close-up example here of the soil. So you'll see in here, we had nearly 20 mil of rain just a few days ago. And you'll see here, this soil has already turned to dust. So this veggie patch has served us quite well for the last few years, but the last few years has been well above record rainfall. And so we haven't really had to worry about irrigation so much. All of these beds just get watered by hand with a watering can. But this is a really good example of all that rain and it's just turned to dust. There's not one worm in sight. So we're going to transform all of this and change it into a system that's teeming with life, and we'll need a fraction of the water to maintain healthy vegetables. Raised beds are out, but now the really tricky part is dismantling the chicken enclosure down in the bottom paddock and somehow trying to get that up here to make sure that the chickens don't escape. So I'm down here with the chickens and we're going to work out how to move this structure. So the structure is 8 meters long by 3 meters wide, and There's Ronnie the rooster, he wants out. So we're going to basically break this enclosure up into two parts and see if we can't somehow make it up the very steep hill over the back gate and up into the veggie patch. Come on, girls. Let's go, girls. Now we've put all the chickens in the trailer. They actually love going for rides in the back of the tractor. We're going to rehome them to the secondary chicken coop up the top of the hill. Now the chickens are safely back up the hill. They've enjoyed their trip in the tractor trailer. So we've just got them in this temporary pen until we sort out their new enclosure. The first part of the chicken enclosure is in place. And next step is I'm going to have to get rid of this papaya. So we had an early cold snap last year and this is actually rotted at the base. So after much shoveling and much wrestling, we've finally managed to get the chicken enclosure up the top of the hill. And Dale is now bringing the girls around in their little chicken tractor. And we're going to pop them in their new home and get them digging and creating some good quality compost. So the girls are in their new home and they're already scratching and doing what they love to do best. I figure because they're so incredibly talented at ruining my other garden beds, I may as well put them to work. So hopefully in a few weeks' time they will have scratched through everything and we'll start looking at producing some beautiful quality compost to grow some new vegetables.